Hello, welcome to part 3 of the light sports car competition. I remember what this is. Yeah, sorry for the delay. I've been having some problems and that, yeah, would bend to not talk about it. But yes, anyway, it's here. You're all probably going to skip to the end for the results, and that's fine. Yeah, so anyway, the track itself that I used for this was the old circuit, mainly because of this jump at the beginning that I'm probably showing right now in the editing. Yeah, it's a fun thing. I know it's sort of cutting the track a bit, but yeah, who cares? And also there's this quite nice bank turn here, so that's quite good. I did 2 laps in each car. Right, so I thought that it would, when it showed the best time, it would show the best lap time. No, it shows the best time for both combined laps. So my plan was to give each car a sort of starting lap and then a flying lap to set the time. Yeah, that didn't work. So all the cars have a sort of from the line and then a flying lap combined time. So yeah, that's why the lap times are sort of a lot longer than you'd expect for this circuit. But yeah, anyway, overall it was actually quite fun driving these cars. They were a little tricky, and yeah, obviously a few of them weren't so stable and easy to drive, but it was still quite entertaining. I mean, taking that jump wasn't the best thing to do when the cars didn't have that much grip or very good brakes or anything, but it's fine. A few of them were actually quite nice over there. But anyway, yeah, let's get into this. So, first of all, we have the Wentworth Womble by High Octane Love. Yeah, it was, well, I mean, no surprise that it was so slow. I am doing these cars in descending order, by the way. The Wentworth Womble was quite slow. It's at a 3-minute 10.1 on the 2 laps. It was yeah, very slow. Easy to drive, but I have a feeling that was because it was so slow. In fact, even when turning through the first chicane, it would sort of decelerate a bit just because of steering, which is interesting. I did think the gearing was extremely long. Beam Aero is a bit different to the way it's calculated in automation, so I suppose scoring top speed was a bit cruel in that sense, because it just meant that all the cars had way too long gearing for what they could actually do in Beam. But yeah, it was definitely a bit underpowered. Easy to drive, but yeah, I think that's just because of how low power it was. Next up, we have the Gauntlet Wyvern by Red. It's at a 253.7, and yeah, it was very easy to drive. Feels a bit slow, and definitely, again, needed to be in the right gear at all time. It's just sort of nice to drive. It just wasn't anything outstanding in any way, really. Easy to drive, no complaints, really. It just sort of was car, you know? I suppose, yeah, having that peak power at red line was very limiting in terms of performance, for sure. Then, setting a 247.9 was El Bruno with the Marquez DSR Boxer 4. Bit of a tongue twister, these names are, really. Yeah, anyway, it was fairly easy to drive quickly, I guess, because it's front-wheel drive. Very drivable, for sure. It stopped well, accelerated well. It was just generally quite nice. Obviously, bit of on-throttle understeer because it's front-wheel drive. Perhaps a bit hard to get it turned into some corners, but for the most part, you know, it's very stable if you got it right, and definitely quite enjoyable to drive. Then 8th place, Cool Key with the Absolute Sparta. It's at a 242.7, which is, you know, it's alright, 8th place. It felt very nimble, definitely quite easy to get it change directions to stop and get it turned in. I did quite like the gearing, and yeah, brakes possibly a bit underpowered. I found that for quite a lot of cars though, that the brakes didn't seem to lock up the wheels at all. So I have a feeling that's something to do with well, possibly a bit of beam and a bit of the fact that yeah, these are old cars with bad brakes. So yeah. In 7th place, Echo Waffle 8 with the AKR kit, 6 numbers. Yeah, it's at a 239.8. Well, 7 round up. It was kind of scary. A lot of power, and yeah, the back did slide around quite a bit, or at least it felt that from bonnet camera. Yeah. It felt like I was doing half the lap sideways. The clips you're seeing now are just sort of recorded afterwards, not the actual times themselves. So that's why you don't see them being totally optimal. But yeah, it likes to sort of skid about a lot, especially under braking. Actually, I found the car sort of spinning a bit. Like the back didn't have sort of enough brake force or whatever, or too much. I don't know, tuning, but yeah. Then in 6th place, Bula 101 with the Cobra SS. This was a strange car to drive. It was quite understeery. I think this was front wheel drive. I can't quite remember. I think so, at least. And yeah, it was very understeery. Easy. It was fairly easy to drive, but yeah, definitely a bit understeery. And I noticed it was bouncing quite a lot. Kind of a weird thing. I'm not sure if you can really see it on the replay here, but yeah, driving it, the car just sort of jiggled about. I'm not sure if that's just being weird or if it's something to do with the car suspension setup. But yeah, it also set a 239.5, so only slightly faster than Echo Waffle. But yeah. Then in 5th place we have the Maldonado with the Cecilia Arigliani. It's an Italian name that I can't pronounce. Lap time was 239.166. So yeah, surprisingly good time considering it was one of the fastest, the highest top speed, and one of the heavier cars. The brakes on it felt horrible, but I am kind of wondering if that was due to the performance, the fact that I was going a bit faster than any of the other cars into turns. But yeah, the handling felt quite responsive. It was definitely quite good on the turn-in. And yeah, it was overall decent to drive. I did quite enjoy it. And because of the wheelbase, taking the jumps was rather stable. Then from Flip 7144, the KLM Sparrow in 4th place on the lap times with a 238.1. This car was really nice to drive. I think I said during the first impressions that I hope it drives better than it looks, and it certainly does. It was fantastic to drive. I haven't actually scored how the cars handle and beam yet. I know holding it late, but it's fine. It'll be at the end when you see the scores and stuff. But yeah, it was very nice to drive. It felt stable, had a good turning, maybe a bit too stable to a degree. Well, yeah, I don't know. It was quite nice to drive, but almost, you know, to a fault. It was kind of hard to just sort of chuck it around and have a bit of fun, but still very nice to drive, and I am quite glad I got to drive it now. Then 3rd place on the lap times with a 236.3, Puginus with the Connaught Weasel. I think that's how you say it. I can't remember now. I've got the car name written to it. I'm doing these from memory. Yeah. Anyway, it was surprising actually. I was genuinely shocked by it because when you see it's got 200 horsepower and, you know, looks like a boat, you weren't expecting it to be as good as it was, but it was genuinely enjoyable to drive, and probably one of my favourites actually of here, which wasn't what I was expecting going into it. But yeah, brakes were again kind of bad, but again probably because it was one of the faster ones, and then again it was also very heavy. But yeah, it was very stable, very easy to drive. I did find that it was quite overgeared though, or at least felt like it in Beam. Like, yeah, you were sitting there and you know if it had shorter ratios, that it could have been a lot better. But yeah, that is partially my fault for the way I set the challenge up. From El Menduco, we have the BeamNG Kit car in second, saying a 234.7. This was very oversteery and chuckable, for sure. You could fairly easily get the backsliding through any turn. Just turn in and the back sort of gets loose, which is definitely fun, but it is quite easy to make a mistake going over the jump. Yeah, I crashed a few times. I had multiple runs in this car. I'd give cars a second run if I did make a major mistake, like go off or spin. So yeah, this had quite a few repeats. But yeah, it going over bumps and stuff, it was, or even just going down hills, it was rather easy to get offset. I think it was set up maybe a bit too soft. Maybe the camber was could be refined a bit. I don't know, but yeah, it was still quite a fun car to drive, and did set a quick lap somehow. Then the fastest car here, from T Pesciotti, I think I'm pronouncing that right, the Ignis LSR 4x4, which, yeah, it's at a 229.3, so 5 seconds quicker than second place. Yeah, this is entirely my fault. I'll take the blame for that. Yeah, 4x4, because of the way it works in Beam, yeah, it sets the car up to be 50-50 power split, basically, so it's just like having all-wheel drive, at least with the automation exported cars, which means it's rather easy to abuse like this. And I mean, to be fair, I didn't outlaw it, and I did realise that this car was set up entirely for that reason, so I did keep it on, even if it wasn't the most realistic thing. But, I mean, it does kind of balance out in the fact that you kind of sacrifice automation scoring for Beam, and it felt very good to drive. It was fast. It did oversteer, sort of want to spin on braking, which was, yeah, a bit scary coming into turns, but because it's all-wheel drive, you just sort of point in the right direction, accelerate, and it just pulled itself out. So, yeah, not really surprised that this was the quickest car. Yeah, it's sort of an unfair advantage, but that's all on me, really. My fault for leaving the rules open like that, especially since I knew this was an abusable thing. But yeah, anyway, that's how the cars drive. Let's go to the scoring. So, now for the points, and I was surprised at how close this is. Currently, on screen, if I've done this properly, is the scores for the cars after me judging the handling. Yeah, handling on one side, hopefully. If I've done this right, I can edit it, right? Yeah, anyway, as you can see, there are 4 cars on 44 points and 1 car on 43. El Bruno is on 43 points, and then El Menduco, Flip, and Coolkey are all on 44. So there's everything to play for now with the lap times, and yeah, it's definitely tight. So as we come into the finals now, with the lap time points, well, I suppose the 2 laps times added in. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, we have a winner, El Menduco, with the BeamNG Kit car. Yeah, it managed to get on top with 53 points. A close second between Flip and T Pesciotti. Words are hard, okay. Yeah, with 51 points each. and then I haven't ordered these for some reason. Yeah, Cool Key with the Absolute Sparta with 48 points in third. So, rather tight finish there. Link to the spreadsheet for all the scores and stuff down below, and all that good stuff. And yeah, thank you for watching. Again, so sorry this has taken so long. Hopefully, although maybe I shouldn't speak too soon, I'll get some sort of regular-ish videos, hopefully at least one a week, which I know isn't that great, but yeah, I've sort of burned myself out on automation, I'll be honest, but yeah, we'll see. And yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and until next video, goodbye.